Okay, the Linux server that I'm going to be installing is Ubuntu 12.10, and I'm going to do it the virtual way, which to install it is similar to what we did for the Linux desktop version. You go over here to New, give it some sort of name, find what type it is, and it's an Ubuntu. Like I said, I'm installing Ubuntu 12.10. Allocate some sort of RAM for it. For the hard drive, I'm going to create a virtual hard drive disk. Well, actually, just now. It's a VirtualBox disk image that I'm going to be using. I'm going to dynamically allocate my hard drive. I'm going to give it that much of space. Click Create. Now I'm going to do this in two parts because it really takes a long time or so, at least on my computer, to install Ubuntu 12.10. But to start it up, you go over here and click Start. Find the ISO image that you downloaded, which is for me, it's Ubuntu 12.10. Click Start. Let me open this up bigger. The language I'm going to be selecting is English, and I'm going to click Enter to continue. Here I am going to install Ubuntu Server. Click Enter. Wait for that thing to load up. Okay, here I'm selecting the language again, but this will be like the language that will be installed on your system. I'm going to go with English. Click Enter. Now this is to select your location for the time zone purposes, and since we are in the United States, I'm going to click the United States. Enter. Practically to continue on anything, you'd be clicking Enter. Okay. Here's where we're going to set up like the keyboard layout. You can either do it yourself if you want it a certain type. I'm not. I'm just going to go with the default and click No. I don't want to set it up like in a different way. I'm going to go with standard US English for my keyboard. And for the keyboard layout, I'm going to still use the English. For that. And now it's detecting hardware to find CD-ROM drives. I'm not going to take that long to download. Wait a bit. There are some, I guess you could say, points in this thing where it's going to take a long time for it to load. So at that point, it would be a really good idea to like get up and move around, like do whatever you want, come back, see if it's okay, or like play games while sending it to your background. But for this installation guide, I'm just going to be playing music to help pass the time while it's like loading. But you can like choose to do whatever you want during those times where it takes a really long time to load. And right now we're loading additional components at this point. And this is one of the areas where it's a good idea to like get up and leave and come back, or send it to the background and do whatever you want else on the computer. And now it's detecting network hardware, and it'll take a while. Maybe not as long as the other one did, but it'll be a while. Okay. Now at this point, you're supposed to enter a host name for the system. I'm just going to go with Ubuntu, the default, whatever it puts there. Click enter. Okay, now you're going to set up a username for this instead of like the root account. And it says there like full name for the user, new user, so I'm just going to put that. Can't even spell my name right. Or like type it. Click enter. Now here, this is for the username for the new account. I'm just going to leave it at default with my first name in lowercase. Click enter. Now it asks for a password. And it needs to be pretty lengthy or else it'll say it's too weak and you need to do another one. So there. And now you need to retype it in. I think I might have. Okay. Now this one is, you may want to configure your home directory for encryptions. Being that it's just going to be on my computer in a virtual box, I don't see the need to do it, so I'm just going to click no. Wait a bit for that to finish doing whatever it's doing. And now it's setting up the clock. It's not going to take that long to set up. So just wait a bit for that thing to finish. Okay. Here it's asking, saying that your physical location right now is, your time zone is going to be America/New York. And it's just asking, is this the correct time zone? I'm going to say, yes, it is. Wait for that to finish up. And it's detecting disks and all other hardwares. Shouldn't take that long to load. And again, loading additional components. That didn't take that long to do. And now it's starting up the partitioner. Wait for that to finish. Okay, here is asking to like partition this thing. There are a couple of settings you can do. You can go guided, which uses the entire disk, or you can go with the guided, use entire disk and set up the LVM, or you can go guided, which uses the entire disk and sets up an encrypted LVM, or you can do it manually. I'm going with the default and just doing it this way. Clicking enter. And this one is to select disk to partition. So go with that. Enter. Wait a bit. Okay, here it's asking, do you want to do this? And I'm going to go yes. That's what I wanted. Okay. Now I'm going to give it some space. And then I'm going to click enter. Wait for that to finish loading. And then starting up the partitioner. Which shouldn't take very long. Okay, here it's just asking, is this really what you wanted? Yes. Okay. And it's partitions formatting at this moment. wait a bit for it to finish doing whatever it's doing. Okay. Now here at this point, it's going to take a long time for it to do the installing the system, so it's a good idea to actually get up and do whatever, or send it to the background and do whatever else you want to do on your computer. And this is where I'm going to end part 1 of this installation. Go over here, pause it so it doesn't do any more.